Hey, everybody, and welcome into a new episode of Billikens Beat here at the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. I'm Ben Frederickson, joined as always by Stu Durando, our SLU beat writer at the Post-Dispatch, here to break down another week in Billikens basketball. Unfortunately, here to break down another week in which Billikens basketball was not played, Stu. But hey, there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel here for this basketball program. They're hoping, it sounds like, to get back on the court Tuesday. You're going to be at practice today, the first full team practice since the Billikens have started kind of coming out of quarantine. We have a much clearer view of what this team has been through since the last time we talked, and it has not been easy sledding for the Billikens as they try to get back on the court. Stu, what have we learned about their situation since we last recorded one of these videos?
Yeah, well, finally we get some clarity on the numbers of players and personnel who were infected, and what the timeline looks like for a return to the court. Practice finally starts today with the full team, although for the last week, guys have been working out individually and in groups with the coaches. And barring any further mishaps, they'll be playing Tuesday against Dayton, which will be the first game in a little over a month because their last game was on December 23rd. We know that at this point, Travis Ford says that 4 players remain in the testing protocol. That's out of 16, 13 scholarship players and 3 walk-ons. So when you take those 4, I don't know if that includes Hassan French, who had COVID back in the spring, but that brings you to 11 or 12 guys who got the virus in this go-round.
Usually when we talk about Dayton coming to town, it would be a rematch of that epic game that was played here in St. Louis last season, a heartbreaking overtime loss, but it really showed, I think, how far the Billikens had come. And this season, we're talking about what kind of team could be on the court if that game happens. Travis has talked about not knowing what kind of conditioning level the team's going to be in, and also, really prioritizing making sure that they're healthy post-COVID before he sends them out there for hard practices. Tell folks a little bit about, what these guys have to do before they're able to step back on the court, but also kind of where Travis is. And he's not worried about defensive schemes and calling plays right now. He's worried about making sure his guys are physically ready to get back on the court, especially in a game as big as one against, an A-10 opponent like Dayton. A season, what will be a conference opener for the Billikens, as odd as it sounds, because they yet played a conference game.
Yeah, it wasn't, everyone thought it was a 14-day quarantine, and then on the 15th day you're practicing, and right after that you're playing a game. But what they went through was a little more complicated. It included a 7-day return progression for the guys who tested positive, where they slowly got back into activity, shooting, riding stationary bike, and doing more each day. That's why it took to this point to get back to a full practice. So, yeah, I don't think he's too worried about X's and O's as much as keeping the guys well. They had to go through litany of tests before they could return also, heart tests, EKG, blood work. They're wearing heart monitors in drills now, and when their heart rate gets to a certain point, they have to stop and rest. So they're really keeping an eye on these guys.
Well, is it too early to say what a fair expectation is for the Billikens moving forward? I mean, they're still a top 25 team. The rankings, the net rankings, which the NCAA selection committee uses heavily, still really likes them. They haven't done anything to hurt their chances other than not playing. Can they still be an NCAA tournament team? Can we still have an expectation that they should be able to compete for the A-10 title? We don't know right now if they're even going to play that many A-10 games. How do we adjust expectations for the Billikens now that they are hopefully going to be back on the court? What's fair?
Yeah, they have 10 games remaining as of Tuesday. 41 days to the end of the regular season from that point to get in a few reschedules, probably, I don't know, I would guess 3 to 4. I think everyone's probably expecting that things won't look the same on Tuesday as they did on December 23rd or December 20th when they were winning games in non-conference, that it's going to take some time to get the conditioning back and the shot back and the, just everything that goes with it. And so, some teams have come out of quarantine and played well, and some teams haven't. And with so many guys having been affected, though, by the virus, you've one has to think that there's going to be definitely a transition period to try and get back to the level they were playing at.
Villanova, probably the most comparable team to SLU, long
Right.
shutdown. They came out, looked pretty good. Expecting that to be the case for the Billikens might be optimistic. We'll see. I like that Travis is making a priority to say the most important thing is making sure these guys are healthy and good to go physically before they're back out there. At this point, it'll be nice to see them on the court, whether they're practicing or playing. So we hope that plan holds for Tuesday. Encourage folks to catch the latest from the Billikens' first full practice. That will have updates at stlta.com in the Post-Dispatch as we hopefully build folks up to a return of Billikens basketball on Tuesday against Dayton. For Stu, I'm Ben. We will talk to you guys next week, hopefully with a game to discuss. That would be good news and good news for SLU. So until then, have a good weekend, everybody.